Welcome back to the Caster Desk ahead of our game, MAD versus Vitality. That's Caedrel's beautiful face, and that beautiful face is going to be joining me for the last 3 games of the day. We'll also be joined by Ender for Fnatic versus G2, but for now, it's just us, Caedrel.
Aw, romantic.
It is. That's true.
Yeah.
I think we're going with the Hot Fuzz duo. We talk about this game, but you heard it in the segment before. Both we heard the interview from Carzzy. We also had the prep there from VIT and Quickshot to really set us up for success. But yeah, the duo name, we've gone with Hot Fuzz. I think I'm Nick Frost, as much as I wish my body types told a different story. I don't think that's true. So
yeah,
we'll make it work.
Yeah, and MAD versus Vitality. Very different teams, I think. Vitality, somewhat weak early game and very, very weak late game. Whereas MAD Lions, super, super strong early game. And I think their biggest mistakes are just individual mistakes overall.
Yeah, and I think looking back, obviously, yesterday's going to be the big talking point. You heard Vedius bring up the level 2 engage, and I think whenever anyone looks back at a game, you're always going to look back at single highlight moments, be they good or bad. And people are going to look back at that Carzzy performance. They're going to look at him leaping into the Baron pit. They're going to look at the level 2 island into a Kalista with exhaust, and it's not a good look overall. So the big question for me is, how do MAD reset coming into the day? I think step 1, push tab, double check that the enemy AD carry doesn't have exhaust. And after that, reset, come in with fresh mental, and let's just see what they can do.
Yeah, Carzzy and Kaiser have been smashing lanes. You saw in the first couple of games they were getting so many 2v2 kills in bot, but recently they've been getting smashed back, and it all comes off their engages. But in 3 seconds, Drakos, we got some music.
Yes, we do. Let's do it.
Lovely.
Lovely. I picked up so many of your... I called something a horror the other day, totally unconsciously.
Oh, it's an absolute horror.
Oh, no. I can't. I'm so easily influenceable. The pro player language is coming through. But let's focus in on the picks and bans. MAD Lions versus Team Vitality. TF can be the first at the ban table, Talia to follow. So far, nothing specific targeted really at either team, just general pick of the litter power champions taking off the board.
We got Camille, we got Olaf, we got Kai'Sa, we got Pantheon. We got so many OPs open, so it depends how they want to trade them off. We've got Udyr as well, so jungle has... I think jungle is the most OP. You can't really deny it. I mean, there's so many broken champions. Talia, Olaf, Udyr, all these champs, Pantheon, all need to be banned. So the Camille ban comes in. There's a couple jungles open, so if MAD Lions decide to not ban a jungler now, I think there's a good trade-off of junglers for first picks. Or they can go for a Kai'Sa. So the way it works is, in draft meetings, for example, if there's going to be 2 OPs open in the same role, whereas there's another OP in another role, for example, if Pantheon and Talia are open, we can first pick Kai'Sa, and then we can get the other one, which they don't decide to go for, because you can never really pick both. So depends how MAD Lions want to approach this draft. So they're going to go for the Renekton ban. So that does leave open Pantheon and Olaf.
Interesting decision now for Team Vitality. They can sculpt the matchup, but if they ban either one, they will give the other one uncontested. That said, the Kai'Sa is up and available. So at this point, Team Vitality actually should feel pretty comfortable with the phase. Thresh, another ban that we've seen a ton that hasn't really shown up a lot getting played, getting picked, but it does also enable the Aphelios.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole reason the Thresh ban stops away the Aphelios. And I think that there's a bit of trade-off here. We've got Olaf Pantheon and we've got Kalista Kai'Sa, so there could be a bit of a trade-off here of AD jungles. You could also pivot and go for a first pick Azir, I think, and then just take the other... They are going to go with the Olaf, but you could take the other jungle or AD that they don't pick up. So now it's up to Team Vitality. Do they want to pick Pantheon, or do we want to see Skeanz on Nidalee, which is actually a good counter into Olaf? Well, not counter, but it's a good matchup.
Good matchup overall. Yeah. And I think that a big question is, how do they want to pivot here? I think the obvious choice is just to match the pick with the Pantheon and then follow up potentially with that Kai'Sa. That said, hard to know for sure what Team Vitality's priorities are going to be. We've seen them really struggling to execute in some of their recent games. We won't take the G2 game as... That one was, yeah, let's bring it back. That one was a horror. So we'll kind of just give them the reset here. I know, it's
a horror.
I'm going to call you a good influence, but in this case, that's definitely a bad influence. Okay. But that's the Kai'Sa. Pantheon would be the expected follow-up, and there it is.
Now I want to see Kalista or something aggressive from MAD Lions. I think Tristana also works into the Kai'Sa. Anything that can all-in early game is good into the Kai'Sa, even though she's quite strong with Hail of Blades. The only good thing that Vitality have for them here is red side you can counter-pick support. So if they go for something like Kalista Alistar, you can try and pick up a counter-pick that, whether it's the Rel or something, or a Leona, whatever works best for them. But there is also Azir open, which is Humanoid's arguably top 3 champion along with Akali, and his Rise as well, which you've seen very... Yeah, there it is, the Azir. Which you've seen, I think Humanoid is one of his best champs. We've seen him do it all of last year. Things like the Corki Azir, are his best champs, especially Ryze and things like this.
And now at this point, I think we expect to see the Xayah has been a pick that Carzzy has looked relatively comfortable on. That said, they could look to pick up a priority support here, but to be completely honest, the AD carry pool, I think in terms of actual viable picks, is relatively small. That said, Seraphine,
that's a flex.
That's most certainly a flex, and I'm not happy to see it, Caedrel, but I am curious to see how Mad Lions are going to utilize it.
That's a flex, definitely, and I think that's something we've seen trending across Europe over the last week at least, is scaling mid and bot with a very early game focused jungle that can bridge them into the mid to late game. I like the Syndra pick up into the Azir, it makes it so he can't get banned out. I think if they didn't pick up mid there, they could ban away Syndra or Orianna, and then Mad Lions, Vitality, we're looking at the LeBlanc again from Milica, which is not what you want to do against so much scaling on the side of Mad Lions. So Syndra, super good pick up there, but like I was saying, I think that's kind of the method that blue side's especially been doing. Just pick up Azir and Xayah in the rotation, and then an early game jungle to bridge them into the mid to late game.
And another reason why I love this Syndra pick, and I think it's good that you highlighted, is that Seraphine, if she is in a support position, if she's not getting a lot of farm, is a very easy target for Syndra. We saw in the previous game how it's kind of hard in the worlds of Pantheons and Kaisas and Xayahs for Syndra to find a priority target to actually blow up, but Seraphine, if she's not farming, should always be a relatively easy target for Milica to pick off.
Yeah, and you can look for top bans here. I think counter pick tops are the best bans here from Mad Lions, but they are going to go for support bans instead, and you can see the support AD pool is kind of pinched for the side of Vitality in the way that Mad Lions have a flex. The Seraphine can go AD carry or support. We've seen it both roles, so Vitality have to kind of go for the best option for them. Let's ban away Senna. I wouldn't be surprised to see another AD ban, or even a support ban that could be very dangerous for the lane phase, because Kai'Sa with a melee support can get pushed in early. The only bad thing about that is if they have a melee support on the other side, it's really hard for range supports to actually play the game past level 3, past level 4. So they've gone for AD carry bans. Now we just need to see what Mad Lions want to do with this Seraphine. Is it going to be a flex? Or is it going to go to AD carry? Is it going to go to support? Are they going to go for things like the Leona? Or are they going to go for things like the Karma to get some push in?
Yeah.
We don't really know yet.
And the reason that we're seeing Senna and Ashe banned away as opposed to something like the Xayah is generally the Seraphine will thrive with lane priority. And additionally, these are the two champions that have been seen essentially to take the support items and give the option for Seraphine actually to be the champion farming out here. Now, interesting to see the GP banned away. If you think back to last time GP was very popular, not just last game, but last time he was in meta, very good against immobile champions. The Azir and the Seraphine will have a very hard time team fighting in the face of that GP ult.
Yeah, now, I was expecting some kind of counter-pick top lane ban from the side of Mad Lions. I like that ban. But this Gragas pickup is super, super good for Vitality. It's a flex to top support, can work in either role. And basically, I think that Mad Lions are looking at a frontliner here. I think that if you're going to put this Seraphine, whether it's support or AD carry, you need some kind of frontline. You could run with something like the Aatrox. We've seen bruisers work really well with Seraphine, but you've already got the Olaf. So some frontline wouldn't hurt, and the GP ban tells me that some kind of tank is on the horizon, but they're going to go for the Aatrox anyway, so they're going for double bruiser with the support, which does make sense. We've seen Seraphine Olaf work really well. Range supports in general are either good with really buffed up hyper AD carries or bruisers, so it works with both. I like that pickup. Now it depends. Is it Seraphine going AD carry or support?
Have to see who is actually going to be grabbing the farm in this bottom lane, but good prediction on the Aatrox so far. Last one, though, always hard to say. I'm honestly kind of holding my breath.
Could be a Leona, it could go for something like a Kai'Sa if you want. They're going to go for the Nautilus, so an engaged support, so it is going to be Seraphine AD carry. I like the split damage coming off Mad Lions, so you've got two carries essentially, mid and AD carry. I wouldn't say Seraphine's so much of a carry, but she is AP damage along with the Azir. Then you've got the AD damage from the Olaf and the Aatrox. The only problem is it's quite it's not much mixed damage for the top jungle, so it makes it so Szygenda on this Gragas can build full armor, won't have to worry about the Azir until 2 or 3 items, but it is going to be a Gragas top, and the Leona does get picked up here for the side of Vitality.
And when we look at the side of Team Vitality, I think you just see all of the options for them to start fights. The Pantheon, the Gragas, the Syndra.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone except for the Kai'Sa has some form of CC to get the fight kicked off, and the Kai'Sa is the perfect champion to follow it up. On the other side for Mad Lions, that is a beefy front line. Olaf, Aatrox, the Nautilus with the Seraphine to buff them up to keep them healthy. A lot of pressure on Humanoid, I think, if we get to the late game stage, but when it comes to ease of execution, Caedrel, I feel like Team Vitality have got a pretty simple formula for success.
The thing is, the more point-and-click CCs you have, the easier it is for you to team fight. Because whether you find engages or make picks, these are the most easy mechanics to pull off in a game. So I think, like you said, Vitality have an easier to execute comp, but I think that the side of Mad Lions, they have really good scaling, and it could be quite dangerous if they start to set up Barons with Azir. They can basically solo out the Baron, and the Seraphine is just a really good support tool to have for these bruises in the top jungle.
Yep, well, let's get into it. Game 3, Mad Lions versus Vitality. Who will take it?
No.
And here we are onto the Rift. And oh boy, am I ready. I'm excited, Caedrel. I'm excited because I made a Jarvan jungle graphic that I'm not going to get to use. And God bless, because that champion is not good, and that's what the graphic would have told you. And instead, I get to look at Skeanz on the Pantheon versus Elyoya on the Olaf in what could be a pretty explosive early game, all things considered.
Yeah, Jarvan hasn't been so hot in the early game. Cheese ganks aren't really working because teams ward a lot, and Jarvan's farming is very, very slow. So it doesn't really fit in the meta too much, but it's always good against mobile carries. But anyway, Jarvan isn't really in this game, and you can see Skeanz popped his ward on his entrance in case Olaf goes for the invade, swaps to the sweeper for when he sets up a gank. So whenever you ward early, it's always good to swap to sweeper because the ward cooldown is so long. You may as well pick up the sweeper, which will be shorter, and it means when you go for these ganks, it makes it easier. So really good ward there from Skeanz because he knows that if Olaf walks into his jungle, it's going to be very, very difficult to actually stop him. And it looks like Elyoya is going to solo start blue. Skeanz is going to get a small leash on the top side. So the only real information trade we have here is that Skeanz is getting a leash. Mad Lions will know that, whereas Vitality don't really know where Elyoya is starting because it doesn't look like anyone leashed on their side.
We are getting Kaiser and Carzzy walking into the lane a little bit late. Could just be to try to avoid getting bursted out by any damage that could come from the Leona combo. And you see a little bit of vision laid down there, expecting a potential invade, or at least respecting the possibility there. Do not want to get put in a position where the Pantheon has so control of the bottom side of the map. But for now, just keeping our eyes on the junglers to see where they will go. Standard clearing. Hook will connect here from Carzzy. Good damage there on the Echo as he gets the double tap.
Yeah, and both junglers starting on the same side, both full clearing to the same bot side of the map, same quadrant of the map. I think that the bot grab will be contested here, but it looks like Mad Lions have the early mid push, and because Mad Lions came to bot late because they placed a ward on their own red buff in case Skeanz tried to do red into red to try and cheese Elyoya, it means they got to the lane late. Vitality will get control of the wave, they get level 2 first, so they do have bot lane prio. And Leona Pantheon is very, very strong in the early game. Level 2, level 3, they spike super hard. Whereas Seraphine isn't super strong in the early game compared to the Kaiser, for example. So I'm expecting Vitality to be able to pick up this bot crab for free, maybe get some vision, and maybe Skeanz can look for some kind of gank around mid, because I think their mid 2v2 especially, Syndra with an AD jungle like Graves or Pantheon or Olaf is really, really strong in the level 3s, because if she hits a stun, it's almost like a one-shot.
Yeah, and you can see already doing some solid damage on his own there from Milica, trying to keep the straight going though. Always a bit difficult against the Azir, who has so much sustained damage in the form of the Sand Soldiers. But I like what you said, Caedrel, and even easier to set up than with the Graves or with the Olaf, because Pantheon provides his own CC here. See Skeanz pathing towards the bottom side. Yeah,
I think Elyoya has to identify here. I have no bot prio. Bot crab's probably gone. He's done a full clear way fast in the Pantheon. Just base and go topside. I really like this play. Just go straight to top crab. He knows Skeanz got a leash. He knows he can't contest his bot crab because of the lane states. And he's just going to base, use his advantage in terms of clear speed that he got, because he basically full cleared his whole jungle before Skeanz even got to his blue. Now he's running to the top crab where he's got a winning matchup in the top lane. So playing to his winning lanes here, and Skeanz is doing the same. So both junglers will sit around 28 CS, but if you look at Elyoya, he will be topside for his camps respawn really, really quickly. Double Ruby Crystal out on the map first. He has jungle prior in the river now, whereas Skeanz is going to finish this last camp, base, and try and get to his drugs in time.
Something that just makes new jungle so oppressive. Obviously, Olaf now being able to back him by 2 Ruby Crystals instead of having to spend his first 700 gold on a jungle item. Completion there does mean that he's even more of a terror if you come in on those 1v1 duels. Armut, though, staying pretty confident in this laning phase. Szygenda running out of mana, and this is definitely probably the worst situation for the Gragas to be in. Now having to pop a biscuit just to keep enough mana to stay relevant in this lane. But if Armut keeps him here for long enough, Gragas is eventually just going to get War of Attrition out.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing here is Vitality have a winning mid 2v2, whereas Mad have a winning top 2v2. So I think Vitality need to get Milica involved in these plays. You can see Labrov and Kaiser always hovering around mid. That's what supports normally do, these melee supports after their first base. Just base, go towards mid, make sure Milica's wave crashes or he has a good wave state. Try to contest some vision, make sure he's safe. And I think both junglers here are going to be full clearing. The only difference is Elyoya actually cleared faster. He's already cleared his top camps, whereas Skeanz just started his top camp. So you can see this exponential growth in jungle clear. By the time Elyoya finished all his camps and based, they respawned faster than Skeanz because he did them faster. Now that means that Elyoya's already leveled up, so Skeanz is looking for something on his top wave. He might think that Elyoya's around, so I think he's here to cover.
Good damage coming in for Armut, the flash out from Szygenda. Now retreating, Szygenda just waiting. He needs a little bit more mana. Good auto coming in there for the Deathbringer stance. Armut staying healthy, but Skeanz going to be the flash in. The dash out of safety, not nearly enough. A solid kill pickup there for Skeanz.
Yeah, super well played by Skeanz there. He knew he had the damage to finish off Armut there. Armut won't lose too much. He can always TP back to this lane to catch the wave, but Armut trading super aggressively when his jungler's pathing away because he wants to stop Szygenda crashing the wave, and because he traded so aggressively, it meant that Skeanz could get the kill. And I think Skeanz was only originally there so that Szygenda could crash the wave in base, but he actually does pick up a kill for it. It is going to be a trade for the Dragon on the bot side, where Elyoya did path map down towards.
So MAD Lions will get something back, but already I like what we're seeing from Vitality in this game. Yesterday for Skeanz, it was an absolute blowout. The Jarvan, not the impactful early game pick that he needed it to be, but already we're seeing him support the top lane and get the kill on top of that. So he is set up to succeed in this matchup, whereas yesterday he did really struggle. So solid look for Vitality.
Yeah, Labrov using this bot prio, or like this pushing wave in bot to try and do something. He has enough sort of window to play around there, and Skeanz does need to clear his camps out, so he is down 10 CS here, around 2-3 camps when Elyoya finishes those Krugs. So he needs to start clearing up. As you see Humanoid go to base, and Szygenda actually picks up a Bramble Vest from that exchange. So now, against the Aatrox level 6, it becomes a lot easier for him to actually start trading in these 1v1s, because Armut can't just heal through his damage, so...
Yeah, tier as well too, so running out of mana in lane, not quite as big of a concern as it might have been initially, but that said, Armut's still landing a lot of these Qs. Good use of the Infernal Chains as well. We'll see how this matchup kind of shifts out as there's a few more levels and a few more items, but Armut just working towards that Gore Drinker. Skeanda's just going to buy whatever he has to hold on in this lane phase.
But I think the most important thing about this game right now is Vitality is stable across all lanes. We've seen Szygenda fall behind. It's really, really hard with players like VoD of MAD. Their bot lane going too aggressive and falling behind. As we see an engaging bot, the Pantheon ult comes in.
Coming in, Carzzy now on the retreat. Kaiser flashing out to safety. They're going to focus the Nautilus. He's looking for a hook into the wall potentially, but there's nothing nearby for him to grab, and that's going to be another kill picked up. Fantastic use of the level 6 from Skeanz.
Yeah, super good proactivity there from Skeanz. And like I was saying, MAD Lions haven't been playing too aggressive, but Skeanz has found openings in top in bot now, so both these lanes are actually doing pretty well. As Milica just trade onto Humanoid there, and Comp can push out this wave, he can get plates. If this Seraphine is behind, it's not the end of the world for the game, because she's more of a supportive champ anyway. But the more important thing is the Kai'Sa gets ahead. You can see on the CS numbers already. Pulling ahead is going to be up to base after this wave, and although Dragon's dead, Herald spawning really soon, so I wouldn't be surprised if Vitality base here and move towards the Herald with Skeanz and keep playing as a team.
But as you say that, we've got 3 people on the top side of the map setting up for a potential dive here on Szygenda. Now the Pantheon's on the way, but he has no ultimate. Important to note, Milica has no TP. But MAD Lions very brilliantly ganking the only available remaining teleport. Szygenda is going to get knocked down. 3 members strong from the MAD Lions. We'll put the top laner 6 feet under.
Good cross map there from the side of MAD Lions. They identified that Vitality put all their resources in terms of bot jungle towards the bot side. So if they go 3-man top, there isn't really too much of a counterplay here. But look, Szygenda has TP, so he can run bot and catch his wave. I like the swap out from Vitality, because they know this top matchup isn't going in their favor, and if your bot lane's winning the game, let's try and snowball the game as fast as we can. We have a really good early mid-game comp, we have really good spikes on level 6 with Syndra, Leona, Pantheon, and we have TP advantage on Szygenda. All these things into account, let's send Szygenda bot, put our bot lane top, fight for Herald. If Armut goes towards bot side, TP in for this Herald and make sure we secure it.
And already you see Kaiser moving up towards the top side. Seraphine resetting, going to move back as well. Armut knows he cannot stay in that lane. Even with the jungler there to support him, too much immediate hard CC. He would have gotten dove out. And now we have the Herald started by Vitality. There is room to contest, but it doesn't look like MAD Lions are going to take the opportunity.
Yeah, MAD Lions way too late to the play. You saw Vitality base with their bot lane tempo from the gank from Skeanz's ultimate, go towards the top side, get the Herald, and you could see, if you actually paid careful attention to Armut's pathing there, he walked towards the mid lane inhibitor, then he went down towards bot, because he realized, if I come to this Herald, guys, and he TPs, I'm losing bot waves. And if I can't get there in time, then he's not even going to TP in the first place. So Armut does go back bot, tries to contest, and Vitality pick up a really good Herald, just playing around their tempo.
Oh, but the knockback under the tower, that's massive. Milica in trouble, the flash out to safety. No one else in the area. Humanoid going to try to commit to the play. Milica going for the side step. That's the base rush proc. He's now running for the hills. The Sand Soldier's just not quite enough range. Milica has no business surviving there, but here comes the Pantheon. Here comes the leap in, the stun, the knockback. Skeanz with the follow-up and the punish now on a killing spree.
There it is, the stun into stun. The mid jungle is so strong in this early game, and Humanoid does get the ult onto Milica. I think Milica got really unlucky there, because I think his corrupting pot was ticking on Humanoid, so he actually got tower aggro, so he had to instantly flash out, but really good notice there from Skeanz to help out his mid lane, and Humanoid just playing so aggressive in this mid lane. Picks up another kill for Vitality. They're sitting at an almost 800 gold lead. They've got the Herald. Skeanz is popping off in this Pantheon, and even though he's down in farm, and has been down in farm all game, he's actually a level up.
And Caedrel, this is fantastic to see from the side of Vitality. Skeanz 3-0 in a game, exactly what Vitality fans have been waiting for after so much time has been invested in this player. We might see even more action, but Labrov locked up, but there's no follow-up here.
Really important thing to notice is Vitality have double TP. Both their solo laners, although they might not be winning or losing, they have teleports. So what does that mean? It means Vitality's bot lane can play as aggressive as they want. They can E in whenever they want. They can jump onto Carzzy and Kaiser as much as they want, because they know if they can see the enemy solo laners on their lanes, they have TP on their own lanes. It doesn't matter how the fight outcome turns out. Their lanes are just going to TP. You can see Labrov just trading so aggressively, because he knows if MAD Lions even try to turn this fight remotely, double TP comes in, both of them die, Herald top, and the top tower's down.
Have to respect it. But at this point in the game, Carzzy now taking over level 6. Kaiser with some levels under his belt as well. The Vandal Glass Mirror coming in, expecting a Moonstone Renewer here. It is getting harder and harder to burst out this Mad Lions bottom lane as they get more and more utility in their kits. That said, Labrov is going to try again. He potentially has a setup here. Carzzy now stepping back. Good shield to come in. Kaiser going to be in trouble though. 3-man charm, the knock up, the knockback. Kaiser trying to run to the hills, but he is surely set to fall. Will get taken down. Elyoya on the way in. Carzzy potentially in trouble with the TP now being used. That's the TP advantage coming in from Szygenda. They're going to be committed to the top side of the map. Carzzy has to retreat. If he sticks around, he's dead. That's the Herald used as well. This is so good from the side of Vitality.
Drakos is exactly what happens. He tried to turn the fight. The TP comes in. The Herald comes down. Yes, they won't get this tower, but so much gold goes onto comp. So much gold goes onto Skeanz. And that's exactly why you need the gold. The only problem is now they're losing bot wave. So maybe Milica can TP down here and catch his bot wave, but Armut is going to get some resources here. He is going to snowball a little bit ahead by the CS numbers and the platings, but you can see what Vitality's win condition is. It's bot lane, ult for bot lane, TP for bot lane, give up all resources to get bot lane ahead, because the only thing Gragas is losing here is Ruby Crystals, Drakos, because that's the only thing he's spending his gold on.
He's a CC bot, Caedrel, and it's a good call, but it's important to note, it's not a little lead for Armut on the bottom side of the lane. That's almost 1,000 gold to his favor, even with Gragas showing up, even with him getting a share of these tower platings. That's still 1,000 gold. That's a Gore Drinker now completed for bits and pieces on the side of Gragas. But Gragas just wants more ability haste, to be quite honest.
I love this decision from Vitality here. Keep Szygenda top, let's swap down to bot side again. Keep our bot lane active on the map wherever the neutral objective is. Not only do they get this dragon, and they actually can get there first because of the tempo. Hang on, I think Mad Lions might contest this. They have no TP on Humanoid though, so it is going to be a 4v4 no matter what happens.
No ult, the flash to the
the hook.
side. Oh, you're just going to walk in and take that one. Wow, a bit of questionable there. They're going to get the kill in the meantime. Vitality's still feeling pretty healthy. Infernal Chains is going to pull back Skeanz, but now Armut's in the middle of the entire team. He's just getting burned down. Gore Drinker, big healing coming in. But Mad Lions definitely happy to get the Drake, and I gotta say, Vitality trading it for a single kill, maybe not the best look.
Yeah, Skeanz' flash there kind of won them the fight. I think it stopped the Nautilus engage from being enough to actually win them the fight. They didn't have Kaiser ultimate either, so Vitality winning out in that fight. Yes, they did lose the dragon, but now Armut has no flash. They've got really good lane states. Look at the whole map, you know, you've got Szygenda pushing in top, Vitality's pushing in bot, Milica's got TP to answer anything on the map, so Vitality have full control of the game itself. The only problem is they've lost 2 dragons so far.
And that is going to be difficult because at a certain point, Mad Lions are going to be online. They're going to be ready to fight. Carzzy's going to have the Moonstone Renewer. He's going to have the Staff of Flowing Water, and those are going to be 2 nigh unkillable champions on the top side of the map. Elyoya and Armut, both with their Gore Drinkers completed. It's going to be a difficult task for the Kai'Sa or the Syndra to burst out these carries when there's so much defensive opportunities coming through from the Seraphine.
So many small things happening here. You can see Humanoid actually started matching Szygenda because Szygenda built armor. So Humanoid can win against Szygenda on the side lane. We saw that during the Drake fight. What's Vitality's answer to Mad Lions' proactive decision? Let's send our bot lane into the Azir. How can the Azir play against Leona Kai'Sa? If he gets hit by 1 stun, he's popped. And top tower can go down soon as well. So Szygenda, you go back bot, match Armut and try and wave clear, and we'll get our bot lane into Humanoid and try and push him in and keep up pressure points because they know Humanoid into Szygenda is a pressure point for Mad Lions. Let's counter their pressure point by putting our bot lane there, sending up our jungle with the ultimate. Milica has TP as well. Let's contest topside.
And Caedrel, I just want to agree with what you're saying. I think we have to praise Vitality here because remember, this is a team at 1-5, and in so many splits, the 1-5 team is not even competing with the middle of the pack where Mad Lions are now. But here, Vitality are going blow for blow. We saw them with clever lane swaps, adapting to complex map states very quickly in this game overall, and credit to them for recovering from a difficult game yesterday to come in swinging in this matchup versus Mad Lions to now be at about a 2k gold lead right as the turret plates fall. That is a good look for this team.
Yeah, Vitality should be able to get this top tower here. You can see Mad Lions giving up the topside vision. And Vitality have been playing so well around the map. They're moving around the map properly. They're swapping and they're using their bot lane's tempo advantage on the enemy bot to move around the map, cover their weak points while also pushing strong points. So this top tower we saw get heralded earlier is going to get taken down for comp. Should get first tower of the game. And Szygenda is essentially a TP bot, a frontliner, and a wave clear bot. And Milica's just sitting in mid lane, waiting for Mad Lions to pull the trigger so he can TP in as well and start getting these fights going. But Mad Lions have double TP now. The problem is Mad Lions don't have enough proactivity to start the fight. They need Vitality to overextend, and they can turn with a Nautilus hook or look for a Nautilus ult on the backline.
And Caedrel, I know we have not seen a ton of Seraphine bot outside of the solo queue experiences. We're going to hold that thought as Humanoid has to flash out of safety. Carzzy now chasing a little bit here. Skeanz in the area. TP now burned. Mad Lions clearly ready for a fight. Is Olaf now unstoppable? Labrov running for the hills. True damage going to come through. Labrov is just going to get taken down, but what else can Mad get with that teleport?
This is the thing, Mad Lions don't have engage, but Vitality tried to engage on Humanoid, and Labrov lost his flash for the engage. So Mad Lions just turned the engage, and they killed Labrov, and now they have full Herald control, but I think they would lose this anyway, because Armut did have the TP advantage, and he was pushing in bot tier 1, so if Szygenda did move to the Herald to try and defend it, they would have lost bot tower anyway, so I think this was kind of inevitable for Vitality, and I think that them going for that play was the only way that they could salvage it.
This has been a game of a lot of small plays starting to add up to advantages. That said, Vitality now only at a 1K gold lead, and we looked back at this game, Vitality were set up to snowball in the early game, and they did do that to a certain degree, but when we looked at Mad's composition, Caedrel, we talked so much about the scaling potential of this Seraphine bot lane, and I guess anytime we talk about scaling, it always feels like there's a threshold in the game where it is just over for you. And I got to know, with the Seraphine bot lane, are we talking 2 items? Are we talking 3 items? And obviously, execution's always going to come into play, but when you look at when this champion is well and truly online, what are we waiting for?
So we're waiting for the Staff of Flowing Water just now. We've got the Moonstone Manure, that's the core items of any support, AP, Enchantress these days, and Ivern too. But Humanoid, match the bot lane into Humanoid, we can dive them, another TP comes in.
Humanoid set to go down the sliding glide though, now going to get stunned up. The pushback doesn't quite catch Comp. A clean sidestep from Comp means Humanoid goes down there.
Now this is a big kill. Dragon's in 50 seconds. There's no mid wave, and Szygenda's already moved towards mid, so he can wave clear. Now that means Vitality can pick up bot tower, and they can start snowballing this gold lead. Humanoid does have teleport to this dragon, and Labrov and Comp won't have ultimates for it, so Mad Lions can decide to contest, but Armut going for this top wave basically spells out that he has no TP. He's going to go for top tower. Let's drop dragon.
And this slows the soul point win condition. It is only a Cloud Drake, but ultimates are obviously very important for both of these teams. That said, Caedrel, we are seeing Vitality so consistently punish Mad for overstaying on these side lanes. The second death of the game for Humanoid, of course, and really no opportunity for him to escape there. So Mad have to be careful. They can't keep making these trades in the side lane.
Yeah, definitely. Vitality have so many ways to pull the trigger, and them identifying that Humanoid was going on a side lane as Azir with no flash, when we've got Kai'Sa Leona, is completely illegal. And this Herald's coming out on mid tower. Armut moved down. He didn't actually go for the top tower, and they're 4-man grouped here with TP on the Azir. They're going to Herald mid tower, and we've seen this so many times before. Drakos use Herald for mid prio, move towards Drake. This is the 3rd Drake for Mad Lions, and it sounds kind of scary to me. If Aatrox and Olaf have a Cloud Soul, they ultimate on you and they're running at your backline.
Yeah, even scarier when they have a Seraphine to back them up as well. Armut waiting on the flank, but he is on vision.
It's going to be a fight.
5K getting lower. They do not want to put them in a position to get soul point. Milica ready. Keep your eye on that Syndra cooldown. Keep your eye on Comp as well. He has the flash, but he does not have the ultimate up and available. Last time, Elyoya walked leisurely into the pit and took the dragon away from the side of Vitality. Will he do it again? That's the hook to kick things off. Milica buying a bit of space with the Scatter of the Week, but that's a major cooldown gone. Dragon Armut still buying space in the meantime. Skeanz manages to get that one. The 50-50, he's going to win out. He has to flash to retreat, but it's Armut on the flank. Now they're going to look to extend the play. A quick dash out from the Pantheon. That means he dodges the charm, but he'll still go down. Eyes on Armut. He is the one with all the gold, barreling through this team. Carzzy unkillable. Support dropping. Armut looking for the follow-up on the Comp. The flash forward to finish the shutdown, and Milica might just be next on the menu. Mad Lions taking the fight. They may not get the dragon, but they've got mid lane priority, and they are set to break this tier 1.
Yeah, they're definitely going to get this mid tier 1. There's no Baron up yet, so Mad Lions want to look for more kills. They want to look for more resources. Szygenda has the E in the flash, and I think Mad Lions won that fight all based off Armut's positioning. They get the tier 1, and look at Humanoid pushing in bot instead of going mid. He's getting the tier 1 bot as well, so they're getting as much as they can from this fight, and this is what you see from these really top teams. The second they win a fight, they try to get as much as they can on resources, push out every wave. Look at top wave, it's pushing into Mad Lions as well, so Vitality are losing so much gold on the map.
It was just a few minutes ago that Vitality were 2,000 gold in the lead, and on the back of that fight, yes, Mad Lions give up a Drake, but they swing the gold 1,000 in their favor, and we take a look at this one.
Armut is the key to this fight. Look at him on the side lane. Milica and Comp just can't step up too far. Labrov's looking on Humanoids trying to get an ult here. You can see by his positioning, he's really looking at the background to try and find an ult, but Kaiser hits the hook first, the root follows, and Skeanz, although he does get the Drake, I think Mad Lions, the second you start running away with this Vitality composition with so much CC and so much single target damage, you kind of lose the fight. Kaiser pops the ult comes out from Carzzy as well, and the second that Mad Lions is grouped up and Vitality is so split like this, it's really impossible for them to win the fight when your AD carry Comp is the front line, and Armut with this Q flash stops Comp's ultimate, does get the shutdown, and Mad Lions just got 3,000 or 4,000 goals from this single team fight alone.
And the thing that we have to appreciate about these fights is that it's not easy for Vitality to play them out in any capacity, because if you do not focus your cooldowns on a single target, the Seraphine healing, the Olaf healing, the Aatrox healing starts to add up, and you will not be able to kill anyone. Vitality have to be more disciplined in these fights to come.
And that's how basically Vitality's comp works. You said it in the draft. They're going to dive onto someone and try and pop him. The Kai'Sa is going to be a follow-up. The problem is all of their damage is single target, so they have to get on the Azir or they have to get on the Seraphine, whereas Mad Lions, they have so much AoE zone control with the Olaf axes, the Aatrox swinging around, Azir's hitting everyone, you've got the Seraphine popping ult, all these things, so they have so much to look out for. As Kaiser gets caught, he has no flash.
Good snare, good CC, good follow-up. Now the charm to go through. Seraphine definitely looking strong as Olaf is the backup that they needed. Mad Lions looking for the punish here. Skeanz definitely in no man's land. Vitality take a losing exchange, and Baron now on the cards for the Mad Lions.
That's definitely Baron Drakos. You've got Azir with 2 items. You can start this Baron. There's no smite on the side of Vitality. The only real smite steal you have here is Syndra's combo, so they want to contest this a little bit. Maybe there's a world where they could combo it together. The problem is MAD Lions can just turn on you. Look at Armut.
On the flank, good damage now coming in. Szygenda gonna be in trouble. He's running for the hills. Milica doing no damage to this Aatrox. Only 50% HP at the end of the day. MAD Lions can turn right back on this objective. Maybe Milica with a bit more damage can start to dissuade, but they have to commit for this. Labrov is coming. Jungle's still 9 seconds away. Ult is available for Pantheon, but it's probably gonna be too little too late. Keep in mind, it's a 20-minute Baron with no AD carry. It's still a slow process overall.
Yeah, Kai'Sa's looking for the engage. They're trying to turn this. I think MAD Lions have spent so much time on this that Skeanz can ult in if he wants, but Vitality are gonna back off here and MAD Lions get a free Baron. I mean, that was just so well played around the Nash. They had full vision control, they kept turning, and yeah, I think Vitality tried to contest, but they just walked up way too far. I mean, Kai'Sa can always turn with these hooks.
And again, Caedrel, 2K gold lead for Vitality 5 minutes ago. It's now a 4K gold lead for MAD. Their composition is well and truly online. And as much as Vitality thought they had a pick here, the turn from MAD is fantastic.
Yeah, Milica's just way too out of range, and Kai'Sa's not in range for ultimate either. I think the whole key of this game and the reason why Vitality are losing these fights is Labrov's just going too deep in these fights, and if he goes too far forwards and dies, Vitality have to peel away and run away, and MAD Lions' comp is so good at chasing you down, and that's exactly what happened to the Drake. It's exactly what happened here. Now they have Baron. Yes, they are far away from the Cloud Soul because Skeanz did pick that 3rd one up, but MAD Lions' siege comp is so good. They have so much healing shields, they have good pick-off with engages with Nautilus hook, and I think Humanoid can just hit these towers for free.
We have a Staff of Flowing Water, we have a Moonstone Renewer, we have double Sterix, double Gore Drinker. Azir is on
healing.
2 items. We're waiting for that Archangel Staff to come through, which will be another huge boost to both the damage and the utility of the Seraphine. This is nightmare territory for Vitality. They went from complete control of the early game to now, I think, not having a shot at any team fights to come.
Yeah, Vitality do get outscaled here. They are backs against the wall. They're 4,000 gold down, and although they do have 3 healing reduction items on the Gragas, Syndra, and the Kai'Sa, I don't think they have enough damage to actually kill anyone despite the healing reduction. So you can see this 4-1 from MAD Lions. Push in mid as 4, move towards the bot, rotate down, and force Vitality off this tower here. As Armut can dive on here, he has so much healing.
Damage now coming in, Szygenda just going to get deleted. Has a bit of healing to keep him safe, though. Now maybe the turn coming in for Skeanz. Skeanz going to leap forward. He's got the Aegis installed to block any fall-off damage. He's still stunned, and he is going to get taken down, but MAD Lions holding on. So far, just the 1-for-1 support for jungle, but a positive trade for MAD Lions, because that cannon creep is still just railing on the bot lane tower.
Yeah, MAD Lions are just tanking the tower in the fight. You know, the tower was part of Vitality's combo. It was a 6 versus 5, but MAD Lions is so strong, so many shields. The Steraks didn't even pop on either of the carries of MAD Lions, which is the 2 bruisers, and Armut didn't have flash for that fight. I think if he had flash, he could have gone way deeper and Vitality would have lost the fight even harder, but luckily for them, he didn't have flash. He does have it now. They do pick up the 3rd dragon here, so MAD Lions looking super good in this late game.
Definitely are, Caedrel. And credit to Armut, because while the Gragas was making his mark across the map in the early game, he was farming up, he was getting powerful, and you're starting to see how that pays off as he just destroys health bars in these fights.
Yeah, Carzzy got this fight super late. You can see Kaiser's tanking the whole tower during the fight. Skeanz gets a good ult in the backline, but look at Armut. Even though Vitality killed 1 member, if Armut has flash here and he goes even deeper with Seraphine behind him, Vitality have nothing to stop it. They only have single target CC, which they used on Kaiser to take him down, and they only have single target damage, which they used all of it, including the Syndra ult, to actually get 1 kill on the support. So Vitality need way more items if they're going to be able to pop any of this front line that MAD Lions has thrown at them.
Yeah, and I like the creativity we're seeing from MAD Lions. Seraphine bot, not something that we've really seen at all, really, in Europe. Obviously, we've seen it in the support position. It didn't look too good, but the Seraphine bot definitely paying off as Caedrel fat elbow elbows the screen. Just push the Leona one, too. You don't know how to do it, do you?
I didn't press anything.
Production, if we could take someone have control over this and then delete it for Caedrel. All right, that's the circle.
That's a circle.
All praise be to the circle. No! Wait, this is not... Okay, there we go.
Okay, it wasn't me pressing anything.
No. It's they just took it off. It's good. Vedius has appeared from the darkness as his Nocturne main roots appeared to try to disable it, but it's fine.
Yep, the circle's gone. Anyway, MAD Lions sieging on the top tier 2. The reason they did that, they went 5-man because they're so strong they can dive Vitality at this point, and both tier 2 mid and bot were down, so she used the last of the Baron, the last of the push we got, the last of the vision to get this top tier 2. All 6 towers are down for Vitality now, the outer towers. All that's left is the inner turrets, the inhib towers, and I think that this Dragon Soul and next Baron is going to spell the end game for Vitality. They need to find some sort of clutch moment, try and catch someone out and try and get to the objective first.
And now, really, it's on MAD Lions to just play as cleanly as possible, because if they get a full-on 5v5 on one of these objectives, we very much expect them to win. But if someone is caught sleeping, if someone is caught overextending in a side lane, that is the path for Vitality back into this game.
They have all the tools they need to make a pick. They have the Kai'Sa ult, they have the Pantheon ult, they have the Gragas and Syndra set up, they have the TPs. So if MAD Lions overextend, there's a world where Vitality can get a pick, stop this Cloud Soul from being picked up from MAD Lions in 2 minutes 50 seconds, and kind of delay the game as much as possible. So although Vitality's scaling is not that great, their single target damage, like we've noted, the whole game is really, really strong. So if Humanoid or Carzzy step up too far, maybe they can make a pick. But the problem is, MAD Lions know this. MAD Lions know the only way we lose this is if we get picked off. Let's just group together.
It's very true. And sadly, no matter how many times we repeat that they have great single target damage, it doesn't mean they'll be able to kill a single target in these fights to come. It is
Very
still
true.
a matter of execution. Just because it works on paper, it doesn't always mean that it's going to work as cleanly in game.
Look at the pings on the top side. You see Vitality see a top wave. They think MAD Lions might try to push that in greedily, and then maybe we can collapse on them. But Comp's going to go up there, push out one lane, and this is what you need to do when you're behind in the game. You need to make sure as many lanes are pushing as possible. So when Vitality are kind of defending mid-tier 3, defending bot-tier 3, this top wave's pushing into the side of MAD Lions, so they can only play on 2 lanes at best, 1 lane in this case.
And Caedrel. Could just be the final siege now coming in for MAD Lions. Skeanz throwing down a spear, but you can see Vitality don't even feel comfortable enough to approach. There's no single target for them to hit. Seraphine has cooldowns up and available, and that means that all of MAD Lions are staying full health. And it's not like Vitality aren't throwing out poke, but Szygenda might have to throw out a few more barrels if he wants to survive in this one. MAD Lions now going to break the inhibitor. Sidestep on the Q coming in there from Armut. They're going to back off as Syndra not really able to dissuade anything further. And the sustain is so great that if Vitality do not fully commit to a fight, they will never kill anyone on MAD Lions.
Yeah, MAD Lions have full topside vision. I think they can start Baron whenever they want and just try to turn onto Vitality when they try to face check. The problem is, Vitality need to get on the backline of MAD Lions, but Humanoid and Carzzy are playing so respectful. I do not think Vitality can take down the front line of MAD Lions. They have to get past Armut, past Elyoya, and try to get on the backline as much as they can, and then deal with the front line later. Their whole comp can dive on the backline, so why not try their best? So you can see mid waves being contested here, because mid push basically gives you vision on either side of the river that you choose. So Vitality investing all their resources there, and Humanoid tried to answer it with the TP. Look at the TP though.
Look for the flank, looking for the opportunity to get things kicked off. They know if they get a single pick that this is their Baron. Armut stepping up, trying to find them in the choke. Looks like they are going to be able to escape here. Labrov waiting. The rest of the team now stepping back. Armut can actually overextend. That's the single target, but no! Look at that coming through. I don't even think he's used the Gore Drinker yet, and he's still so healthy. Moonstone Renewer, Carzzy with the follow-up. Are you kidding me? Healing might need a bit of a nerf. Labrov with the double kill coming through. There are no cooldowns left for Vitality. There might be 3 members left, but they might as well be dead in the water. MAD Lions pushing into the base. They're ready to end this game.
Yeah, MAD Lions just grouping up there. I just said it. You can't get through this front line of MAD Lions. You said it right. Armut didn't even use the Gore Drinker there. Oh, it looks like he did towards the end of the fight, but it did come off cooldown anyway. So you can see Vitality invested all their single target damage into Armut, and not even that could take him past 70% with a 3000 shield anyway. So MAD Lions looking for some fountain dives here, padding some KDA. They do end the game, and I think that they covered all their weak spots by just grouping up.
Yeah. Playing their composition incredibly well once they were able to get things out of the laning phase. Early game was rough. Vitality definitely landing more than a few punches there, but MAD come back swinging. MAD will take the win.
And this is the thing, we've seen Vitality have good early games, we've seen them have bad early games, but the same outcome always happens. The mid to late game is just not good enough to push the game forward into a winning position, get the Baron, get some sieges going. It just felt like they had a good early game and they came out of the gates running, but then they just slowed down, they took the foot off the gas, and MAD Lions just scaled and beat them in fights.
Yeah, and right now it really does feel like in the LEC that scaling is king. We see so many games where teams build a very early game focused comp and they cannot snowball through for the win. MAD Lions, another team that was able to build a scaling composition, hold out in the early game, weather the storm, and turn things around in the mid game. And as an update, before Kia Player of the Game, you guys were wondering, what is Caedrel doing on this telestrator? He's a rookie. How does that happen? How's he just mashing these buttons? So if it was actually Trevor. We found out it was Trevor on the analyst desk. Trevor activated the telestrator.
I knew it wasn't me.
You're
I'm not crazy.
Griefed. You're getting griefed.
I'm getting griefed.
He's still passive-aggressive about our TriCast that's coming up. You guys can watch that one later. But
sabotage.
Now on to Kia Player of the Game. At LEC on Twitter. Armut, Elyoya, and Carzzy are your options. Carzzy went from kind of like having really a really rough game yesterday to, I think, 0-0-8 or 0-0-10 by the end of the game. He did not die, so maybe he deserves your consideration.
He was quite quiet, wasn't he? But he was the support. He did his job, and then Armut and Elyoya just jumped in the front line with 100,000 HP shields, so well played.
Looks good. Looks strong.
Looks a bit broken.
A little bit. After the break, we're going to hear from MAD Lions coach Mac before Rogue and Astralis hit the Rift.
Lovely.
Lovely.
us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave.
Welcome back to the LEC, everyone. Mad Lions bounced back from the game they had yesterday, and Mac, thank you for joining me to talk about it. Oh, for talking about it. I'm gonna do it. It's fine.
Hello, thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. Nice to have you again. We talked at the beginning of the split, but I just wanted to have a glimpse of the feedback you gave to the boys yesterday after the game they had against SK.
I mean, obviously everyone was very disappointed after that game, which is normal. Yeah. We felt like we were pretty heavy favorites coming into the day, and we felt like we had a pretty good read on the draft and things like this. I mean, yesterday we just talked about what went wrong. It wasn't anything too complicated. Maybe we kind of overthought things a bit and made things a bit too complex, and we just made some silly mistakes, right? We were really impatient. We're still learning as a team. We had a comp that scaled very well, and we took quite a lot of fights that we didn't need to take. So today it was very much, okay, yesterday was a bump in the road. Just remember the things that we're good at, right? We're good at playing fast. We're good at playing aggressive. Stick to that identity and we'll be fine.
That's what we saw, which is why I want to talk about the composition you drafted for Mad Lions today, especially with the Seraphine on the bot lane. We know that it's a flex pick that can be played either mid, ADC, or support. Why did you think it was a good choice for Carzzy? And what do you think about him playing other things than marksman right now?
I think Seraphine's a bit of an outlier. I haven't really seen any other things on the bot lane other than marksman recently. When it comes to why it was a good pick in this game, I didn't expect us to actually get the Olaf first pick because not that many teams are leaving it up. But it just combos really, really well with Olaf. And we knew we were already planning coming into today that we were going to aim for Aatrox for Armut. So it combos super well with both of those champions because they both, I mean, if you watch the game, you saw they have like 10,000 shields and then shields from Seraphine and then healing from Seraphine. So it just makes sense.
I want to hear your thoughts about the Olaf pick because I was also intrigued that they left it open, but that's also something we saw during a previous game today. I had an interview about it yesterday, today with Abedage, where he told me that he doesn't think that Olaf is such a strong pick. We're going to be on a new patch next week, 11.3. So I want to hear your thoughts about Olaf on this patch because we know what's going to happen next week with the Gore Drinker. So hopefully we don't see this champion so much anymore.
Well, initially we didn't think it was that strong, and then we lost against it twice. And I mean, I think it's a champion where if it gets ahead, it's just unbelievably suffocating. Obviously, on red side at the moment, there are a lot of like the red side draft is not that easy right now, right? So what Vitality did today is quite common in that you have to give something and you have to try and trade for it because you can't ban out everything because there are too many good first picks for blue side. So you take what you can. The Pantheon Olaf trade is a fine trade, and a lot of teams do it kind of all across the world. It just happens to be the case that we had really good combos with it and that we scaled better.
All right, good decision for the draft today yet again. But I want to talk about the interview I had with Carzzy before the game because I talked about inconsistencies on the side of Mad Lions, and I know that he didn't like it so much. So what's your take on the results of your team recently and the issues that you had and obviously addressed?
I think it's normal that we will be inconsistent at this stage in the year. We're still finding our feet, we're still learning, and we're trying to take things very step by step and very systematically. So for the first few weeks, we worked a lot on our early game and we got pretty good results from that. They didn't show so much today. We had some fumbles today. But across the first few weeks, we had really, really solid early games, and then we're trying to transition into doing more, okay, how do we take our early game lead and close it out cleanly and things like this. So there are always going to be fumbles, and I think that we're a team and that our players' personalities are such that we're always going to play the game at like 99 out of 100 speed. That's just kind of our team identity and our players' identities, which means that you have more room for error, right? You have to play things perfectly and you have to play things on the edge. I'm not saying that we're perfect by any means, but that's what we're aiming for, right? And there will be lots of muck-ups along the way. So that's what it is.
Mm-hmm. But what makes a great team in the long run is the fact that players are willing to try stuff even on stage, which is what we see from Alliance right now. It works or it doesn't. It did today. Who do you think is the player of the game?
I mean, I think Armut played the early game really, really well, played the team fights really well. I think he capitalized on opponent mistakes really well. I think Elyoya actually deserves a big shout out for this one as well. Because, I mean, he was kind of just quietly doing his job, but in all the team fights, he plays super, super well. And I mean, speaking of kind of inconsistency, I think Elyoya is an incredibly, incredibly consistent player. He's always there kind of putting in his damage, putting his numbers. He's always showing up in fights. He's always like doing good performances in the early game. He's always securing objectives for us. He's always getting the vision. Like, I think he deserves a lot of credit that maybe went under the radar because you see this like enormous Aatrox with a huge CS advantage. So I don't want to call who was the best player because it's a team effort. They're all the best players for me. So.
Well, I will tell you who the community chose here, and it's indeed Armut. Helped by his jungler, of course. We know that it's a duo. But how has it been working with him? I know we talked about him a couple of weeks ago, but you had enough games by now.
Yeah. Armut's fantastic to work with. He's a super confident person. He fits really well with the whole Mad Lions identity, right? He's really aggressive. He's really explosive, and he has a lot of fun. He's always laughing and joking, and I think overall he's a great teammate. He gives feedback really well. He's really honest with his opinions. He's like a fast learner. I honestly have no complaints about Armut so far.
Amazing player, and that's great to hear. Last word from you. You will get to play against Schalke next week. The Godslayers, Kingslayers, how is this one gonna go?
Ooh, I don't know. I think it depends very much which version of us shows up. I mean, I will always say that we'll be confident to take it, because you can't play the game like we play it if you're not confident to take it, right? So that's just how you have to be. But they do look good right now, for sure. They look very strong.
It's going to be a banger, for sure, and an exciting game to watch. But
Absolutely.
for now, Mac, thank you so much for the interview, and I wish you a good week.
Thank you very much. You too.
You're welcome. See you next time, and we're going to take a short break, and we'll come back in a few minutes for the fourth game of the day, Astralis versus VoD. Stay tuned.